Hi, this is Mark Gingrich with the Palm Beach Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Realty. Today I'm going to take you through direct access to the MLS system rental search. This is a system unlike any other system that you've used online before to search for properties. This is direct access to the same system that I use and all real estate agents use to search for properties. All right, let's get started. First thing that I want to point out to you is that when you go to the search, whether you go to our website and find the search or whether we email you a link, when you start the search off, the system goes out and it finds all the rentals in the system. And you'll see here that it's displaying 1,051,868 rentals. Well, we're not going to look at a million properties today, but what we're going to do is we're going to start refining our search down to see the properties that we want to see by filling the criteria on the left side of the screen. The first thing that we're going to do is go up to this box here, and in this box we're going to add the area or location that we want to search in. So in here we can put a city, a zip code, an address, and search in those areas. And for this search we're going to search in Palm Beach Gardens. So I'm going to start typing in Palm Beach Gardens, and you're going to see that we have a list here that shows up, and as a city, Palm Beach Gardens is on that list. We're going to double click and add it in our search area. The system is then going to refine itself down to that area. The next thing that we want to do is look at status. Status is the status of that particular property. And we want to look at active available listings. So we want to make sure that we add that to our list. And again, we're going to refine down, and now we have 383. Something that you might want to consider here, if you want to look at past rentals or rentals that have closed, you would click and highlight on closed, and that will show you past rentals and what properties have rented for in a certain area that you're looking in. So for this search, we're going to look at active available properties. In this box, as we open it up, this is the type of property that we're going to search for. And we have the ability to search for multiple types of properties. You'll see that townhome is selected here, and I can click on townhome and add that to my box. And let's say that I want to also look at single family homes. If I hold down the control key and I left click on single family house, that's going to add that to our search criteria as well. And then if I want to take one off, I just click on the single family home and make sure that that's the only one highlighted in the box. So now we're looking at single family homes in Palm Beach Gardens, and there are 145 active listings. This box that we open up next is the rental price. This is the search for the amount that you want to pay in rent every month. And a suggestion here is that I would bracket this to the high end just slightly. Let's say that you're want to cap yourself off. You don't want to pay any more than $2,500 a month in rent. I might search for 26 to 2,700. Give myself a little bracket there. If I find a property that I like that's say 2,600, I might be able to negotiate with the landlord and get that at a rental price that's in my budget. So for this search, we're going to cap off our search at 2,500. And you'll see that the system refines itself again. In this box I'm going to open up next is total bedrooms, and in here I'm going to put 3, and that means that I only want to see properties that have 3 or more bedrooms. Same thing with baths, a minimum of 2 baths. I'm going to put 2 in here, and I'm going to look at properties that only have a minimum of 2 full baths. Garage spaces would be the same thing. You could click on that box and you could add garage spaces there. Living square feet, this is the minimum square feet that you want. I'm going to put 2,000 in this search and add that in there. So we're going to look at properties that are only 2,000 square feet and larger. And you'll see that we've refined ourselves down to 4. Private pool, does the property have a private pool? Yes or no? You could click that. Pets allowed, this is an important selection for renters. If you have a pet, you're going to want to click on both restricted and yes. And let me explain that. A lot of properties are governed by community organizations called HOAs. And sometimes, or most times, the HOAs set the qualifications for what pets are allowed in the community. For example, they may say we only allow one pet and 30 pounds or less. So if you have a pet, you're going to want to make sure that you click on both restricted and yes and add that to your search. If you don't have a pet or pets are not allowed, but if you don't have a pet, don't worry about it. Just leave this box blank. Another thing to point out here too is that even though a community may allow pets, the landlord or property owner may not want pets in their property, and that's their prerogative to say yes or no on that. So that's also something else to consider here. So we're going to leave this blank for our search here. This is another important one for renters is the unit that the floor is on. Sometimes people want only to see first floor units, ground level units. Sometimes they don't. So if we go and open this box up, we could say that we want to have our unit on the first floor, and that'll only look for first floor properties. Waterfront, same thing. You want to be in front of the water. Boat docks, intercoastal view, ocean view. This is where you would select that. Now I put these two boxes in this search, and these are very important. In South Florida, we have a lot of seasonal rentals. So if we're looking for a seasonal rental, we're going to open up these boxes here, and we're going to click down on this box here, seasonal. All right. If we want an annual rental, then we're going to make sure that January is specified as an annual rental, and that's going to show us properties that are only available for a 1-year term. And just as another point of caution here, we're going to make sure that February is also selected as annual. So now you see here that we've narrowed it down to 2 properties. Now, this box here is what separates this search from everything else. In this box, when I click in here, I can add as much search criteria that is available in our MLS system to this search. And let's look at a few categories that are important to renters. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to scroll down our list here and we're going to find furnished. And furnished properties, a lot of times if you're doing a seasonal rental, you're going to want the property to be furnished. So if I click on furnished, I'm going to add that over here to my list. You'll see that, and I'll click on that, and then we're going to have only furnished properties. Now, if I put something in here into the list and I want to take it back out, all I do is just click on this X, and you'll see that that will remove it from the search. So let's go back to our search box and bring up our list of options here. Let's look at some more that are of consideration to renters. We're going to go down to general property description, and another one here is minimum days lease. And minimum days lease, let's say that you want to do a seasonal rental. A lot of times the HOA or condominium association will only allow for 60 or 90-day rentals. If you want to do less than that, you might put that box in here and say 30, for example, and then you'll be looking at properties that allow for 30-day rentals. Let's look at a few more here. Let's scroll down a little bit more and look at location, tax, and legal. And one point here is the more information you add to your search criteria, the more refined it gets. And in this case, sometimes less is more in that when you get too specific, you may remove properties that are otherwise candidates. And the reason is that the MLS listings are only as good as the information that the listing agent puts in there. So less is more. You can always refine or reject properties, but let's look at a few in here that are important to you. And the first one here is HOPA, H-O-P-A, and that stands for Housing for Older Persons Act. And let's say you're searching in an area and there's properties coming up and they're only in 55 plus communities and you're not 55 yet and you don't want to see those, so you're going to add HOPA over there and say no. And then on the reverse, you may want to look at properties here when searching for rentals as schools. And if you add the schools here, you'll see here you can choose the elementary or high schools that are associated with that particular area that you're searching in. So let's look at our results here. So now we've added all our search criteria on the left-hand side here, and that's given us two results. If I if you look up here in the right-hand corner, you'll see these tabs here. List is going to list out those properties, and detail is going to show us the full MLS listing, all the information that the listing agent put into the MLS system is going to be available to you right here. And this is another thing that really separates this search from, say, Trilla or Zillow or Realtor.com or anywhere you're looking. And a lot of times those sites, they don't scrub out the information when properties go under contract or they're rented. They tend to stay up in those search portals. So this one, you know, you're looking at really only what's available. So you'll see here that when the box is highlighted, that's the property that you're looking at. When I want to look at the next property, I'll just click and highlight that one, and it's going to switch over to the next property. So let's go back to the first one, and let's click on photos, and that's going to bring up a film strip of photos, and I think there can be up to 36 photos that the agent can add. And as you click on the photos here, you'll see that they come up. And if we click on map, that's going to show us where the properties are located on the map. Give it a second to load and scroll out a little bit. You can move around in the map, and you'll see here's the properties. So there you go. That's how you do a search in the MLS system, Direct Access. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please call the number on the bottom of your screen. It is a toll-free number. And if you came to this search and we didn't send you the link, you're going to be able to do a search and look at a few properties, and then the system is going to ask you to register. And I would highly recommend that you register. That information is only coming to us. We're not going to hound you, but to be able to save searches and to do multiple searches and continue to use this system, you are going to have to register with the site, and we hope that you do that. Again, this is Mark Gingrich at the Palm Beach Real Estate Group, and thanks for your time.